Hi everyone, thank you for watching. Doing a video here comparing two white dial Omega Seamaster models. I don't have a lot of white dial watches, but wanted to show two of the few that I have, which I really enjoy wearing, especially more towards the summertime. So this first one is the Omega Aqua Terra, the 8500 series, 41.5mm case size, and obviously the white dial version. As is the case with most things of a lighter color, this watch definitely appears larger than the black dial or blue dial or gray dial variants. That's generally the case with white or light colored things, and definitely very much true in the case of this watch. So for 41.5mm slim bezel watches generally do look larger, and when you're talking about a dial in white, it's going to emphasize that even further. So this watch wears nice and big on the wrist, definitely pushes it more to like a casual look for me. And this watch is the famous Great White, as it's called, the white dial GMT version of the Seamaster Professional 300M. This watch is 41mm in case diameter, so a half a millimeter less than the Aqua Terra, but virtually same dimensions because the lugs are 20mm on this watch as well, just like on the 41.5mm Aqua Terra. Got a little ant there in the bracelet, or a fly of some kind. So this watch is very popular if you follow Omega on watch forums. They weren't made for a very long period of time. There are definitely far less of these white dial GMTs out there than the black dial version. The black dial version of this has a bicolor bezel, which I think is somewhat of a polarizing feature. I think that particular watch with an all black bezel probably would have looked better, more similar to 2254, which seems to be very well regarded. But the white dial version is definitely a change of pace. I like it very much because it's different. As you can see, the dial may not be the most legible one out there, especially because the markers are also close to white like the rest of the dial, especially when there's glare hitting the sapphire glass. That can be a little difficult to read. And if you compare this watch to the current Seamaster Pro in white dial with black bezel, which is really popular, you can see Omega sort of remedied the dial readability, though the markers on the newer watch have a very pronounced black edge, and that really helps make the dial readable. I think this watch, had it had a more prominent black border around the markers, probably would have looked really, really great and would have definitely helped usability of the watch. Here's a shot of the lume in moderate lighting. So this watch definitely has a very nice amount of lume because of the size of the markers. And I don't have a shot of it in the dark, but based on how much light you see here, you can tell it would look quite bright in the dark. And here the two watches are side by side to give you an idea of how they look relative to one another. The bezel on the Great White is obviously much wider, and consequently have a smaller diameter sapphire glass, which may help make the watch wear a little smaller. But in that both are 41mm plus and white dials, neither of these watches, I would say, wears small. So good choice if you like a bigger watch or if you have a bigger wrist. Here you can also see the legibility. It's not bad either. You can adequately read these watches in normal lighting. As I said in the beginning of the video, don't have too many white dial watches. Definitely, as a percentage of my collection, it is way more lean towards black dial or darker colored, like a dark blue dial. Not too many silver and light dials. I feel like that they were probably more popular in a prior era, because in vintage watches, they're certainly more light dials than dark. But I think if you like to change up what you're wearing, I will always have at least a couple, and these are two really nice choices. You could find them on the pre-owned market, although finding the great white might prove to be a little more difficult. I used to have one, and it took a while to find a replacement, as it seems probably that collectors are hanging on to them, and I don't think it was a very high volume sold watch at any point either. I don't have numbers to back that up, but just from what I see on the market, it seems like the GMTs were definitely a fraction of the sale of the regular automatic and quartz models during that era. So it might be a little more difficult to find the GMT, but again, I think they're both definitely nice pieces to have if you're an Omega fan. So let me know what you think about these watches. I'm curious to hear. And as always, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to respond below. Thanks again.